The intention of this training is fourfold. First, set the expectations. We want the client to know we are there to detect, not diagnose, and will offer fact, opinion, and guidance. Second, express gratitude for the chance to be part of their transaction and ensure the client feels heard. Third, establish yourself, the inspector, as the expert in the room and ensure you control the flow and tone of the inspection. Fourth, remember that everything that happens on inspection day is the inspector's fault. So be certain to note the condition of the property before, during, and after the inspection. Most people believe that to be a good inspector, you need to have solid technical skills, and of course that's true. However, real estate is a high-stakes game. As we have evolved as a company in the last 4 decades, it has become readily apparent that softer skills are equally important. How you speak, if you look people in the eye, your body language, if you can make casual conversation, if you can ask questions that allow clients to feel heard and understood are all skills that will distinguish a good inspector from a great inspector. A great inspector will take time to prepare. Our customer care advocates spend a great deal of time recording the needs and wants of our clients at the time of scheduling. These things are all noted in the ISN order under the client concerns and notes. In addition, they are texted to you just prior to the inspection. Contact the client the day or night before. Begin by congratulating them. This is a really big deal. Say thank you for allowing us to be part of their transaction and assure them you are there to help them learn all they need to know to make an educated decision. Ask them of any concerns they might have and if there's anything the seller's disclosure has identified that we should be aware of.
Pay attention to the buyer's agent information. Are they a high referring agent? Their stats, meaning total fees and total inspections, are also listed on the ISN order sheet. The same information exists for the seller's agent. As you know, agents are a huge source of referrals. A great inspector will make themselves known to the agents and will work to establish themselves as a reliable partner. Consider a pre-inspection call to the agent to simply introduce yourself. The referral source is tracked for every order. If the agent is the source, say thank you.
The driveway speech is designed to help you establish credibility, control, and set expectations. Be aware of nonverbal cues, look people in the eye, shake hands, use reflective listening skills. Introduce yourself to all parties and establish what role they play in this process. Offer your business card to the client and agents. Reiterate to the client the concerns that they have already expressed, both with our CCA and with you in your prior phone conversation. Ask if there are any new concerns. Let them see you write down their concerns, either on the physical ISN worksheet or in your phone or tablet. Explain your process. For example, you could say, I'm going to start in the basement and work my way up. I will come to find you to provide a brief verbal summary of my findings after each floor. Please save your questions for that time. It's best if I can do my work uninterrupted so that I don't lose track of my process. At the conclusion of the inspection, I will provide you with an overall highlight reel to answer any questions. Please remember, these verbal summaries are just highlights. Much more detail will be contained in the report, so please read the whole thing. Remind them that you are there to detect, not diagnose, and will provide fact, opinion, and guidance as to the best course of action. Follow the same procedure every single time. If you always start in the attic and work your way down, do that every time. An established procedure will help you to stay on track and reduce the likelihood of missing something. Do not neglect to provide the client with periodic verbal highlights of your findings. Keeping them informed along the way will let them know you really do know what you're doing. If the client or agents consistently interrupt you, gently remind them of your process and assure them you will come to find them to provide updates. Remember, you are a professional. No one would dream of asking a surgeon a question during a procedure. First and foremost, say thank you again for allowing us to be part of their transaction. Provide a verbal highlight reel of your findings. Be certain that the highlights address the concerns that the client expressed at the very beginning, and make certain these concerns and anything else included in the highlights are included in the written report.
Check for understanding. Reflective listening skills are a great way to do this. It initially sounds goofy, but the best phrase to use when doing this is, "What I hear you saying is," trust me when I say this phrase triggers a happy dance in your listener's brain because they feel genuinely heard. Verify who should receive a copy of the report and ensure you have all the emails correct. Then, and most importantly, return the control to the agent. This can be done simply by saying, "Will I remain readily available to you for any follow-up questions? At this time, I'm going to turn this back over to," fill in the agent's name here, and she can guide you through the rest of this process. The best final impression you can make is to write a solid report. Be certain that everything you said in the highlight reel is included and everything the client expressed as a concern has been addressed in writing. Make sure that your verbal comments match the comments written in the report. This means if you make a big deal of something in the verbal summary, it better be a big deal in the written report. We have several automated procedures that are triggered once the report is sent. These include a request for an online review, a thank you email that goes out 3 days after the inspection, as well as an individual client follow-up email that goes out 14 days after the inspection. However, if time allows and you are really interested in being a great inspector, consider a follow-up text or call to the client and agent to ensure the report was received. Check for any questions and take just one more opportunity to say thank you. Ideally, comment on something you connected on during the inspection. Could be a plumber referral, supplemental info about crack repair, or even something personal like "Go Blackhawks." Look the part. Make sure you have a company sign on your vehicle, you're wearing a Dunsing shirt. In this world, people who show up without proper identification make people nervous. We want clients and agents to understand that Dunsing Inspections is a legit company that understands the importance of first impressions and professionalism. It's also a marketing tool. Show up on time, but not early. Recently, we had an inspector mix up a start time and inadvertently show up 45 minutes early. The seller's agent provided access and told him to get started. The client and the buyer's agent freaked out at the idea the inspector would be spending 45 minutes alone with the seller's agent and they would miss out on the inspection they were paying for. The agent even called the office en route to express their concerns. Upon investigation, we were able to assure them it was an honest mix-up and the inspector, in fact, did not start early. But it took extra time for the office staff, inspector, and agent to ensure a resolution. Do not rush, but move efficiently. The average inspection should take 3 hours or less. As you know, we're big fans of teamed inspections. Whenever possible, we always try to send multiple inspectors to move things along, particularly if we're performing lots of ancillary services. But remember, even in a tiny condo, the client is paying good money for an inspection. Just because you can inspect it in 45 minutes doesn't necessarily mean you should. A client buying an 800 square foot condominium is just as concerned about your findings as a client buying a 10,000 square foot estate. Being a great inspector means helping our clients and agents feel like they got their money's worth and then some. Say thank you. Have we mentioned this before? Show enthusiasm for your client's situation. This is a really, really big deal to them. Have empathy and patience even if they are asking the same question 14 times. Lastly, be personable but be genuine. People do business with people and come back in the future to do business with people they know, like, and trust.
At Dunsing Inspections, we have built our reputation on being professional, ethical educators. We pride ourselves on bringing calm to the real estate transaction by providing unbiased facts.
If you're part of the Dunsing team, it's because you are likable, trustworthy, and have the soft skills necessary to provide 5-star and beyond service. We believe you are already well on your way to being a great inspector.
We're thrilled to have you on the team and remain dedicated to providing you with the skills you need to not just succeed, but to exceed.